Today we are going to learn one of the important topic in the mathematics. So before getting into that topic, let us introduce some few things. Okay. So first, what is area? Okay. So does anyone say that what is area? Can anyone say what about area? No one. So yes.
The space between the boundaries is known as area.
Okay. So area means nothing but the space that bounded by closed figure. Okay. So the region bounded by the closed figure is called area.
Area.
Suppose here I draw one closed figure. Is it a closed figure?
Yes.
Okay. So here I draw one closed figure. So whatever the region is there inside that closed figure is called area.
Area.
Okay. So that is called area. Then what is volume? Okay. So what is volume? Can anyone say? Can anyone say what is volume? So volume means, suppose this is a plane figure or solid figure. Plane figure. Okay. Suppose you take some solid figure. For example, I'll take cone. Okay. Suppose example I'll take a cone. So cone has some space inside it or not?
Yes.
If it has some space, then only we can fill anything in that. Ice cream or whatever we want, we can fill in that cone. That means the space that we are using to fill something is called volume. Okay. If we have some volume, then only we can keep something inside it. Okay. So this is what, a 3D figure, solid figure or plain figure?
Solid figure.
This is a solid figure. Okay. So the solid figure, whichever the solid figure is having some space, that space is called as volume. Okay. So does the plane figure has volume?
No.
So plane figure has no volume. Solid figure will have some
Volume.
Okay. For example, you take ball, some football you take. Okay. So what we have inside that football? Air. That means the space inside that football is having some space, is covered with air. So that means now the football is solid figure or plain figure? Solid figure. So that means solid figure will contains the volume. Okay. So now we have two types of figures, that is plain figure and
Solid figure.
plain figures and solid figures. Okay. So what are these plain figures and solid figures? We will see with some examples. Okay. Suppose this duster is there. Okay. This is a solid figure. So how we can say this duster is a solid figure means? So here solid figure has 3 dimensions and plain figure has 2 dimensions. So plain figures are 2 dimensional and solid figures are
3 dimensional.
For example, suppose this book is there. Okay, I'll consider one paper inside. I'll consider one paper in this. Suppose if you see a paper, this paper is in of which shape? Rectangle shape. So now this rectangle shape, in how many directions you are seeing? Okay. In 2 directions. One front side and back side. So you are seeing this rectangle only in 2 directions. Okay. Can you see that shape of rectangle in other side like this? No. So like this you can see that rectangle shape? No. That means you are seeing the only in 2 directions. So that's why these plane figures are called as 2 dimensional. Okay. So plane figures are nothing but 2 dimensional figures. They are called as 2 dimensional figures. And suppose if you take this duster. Okay. So this duster is also the face. The face of this duster is in the shape of rectangle. Is it? So that face, rectangle face, you are seeing in all the directions. In this direction also you are seeing the rectangle face. In this, like this, if I turn like this, so in all the directions we are seeing that rectangular face. So whenever we see one face in all the directions, then it is called as solid figure. Okay, or 3 dimensional. That is called as 3 dimensional. Okay. So solid figures are 3 dimensional figures, plain figures are 2 dimensional figures. Why means plain figures we can see the plane figures. The face of the plane figures can be seen only in 2 dimensions, and the face of the solid figures can be seen in all the directions. So that is the difference between plane figures and solid figures. Now one example is a circle round in shape.
Yes.
Is ball round in shape?
Yes.
So both are round in shape only. Then circle and ball are solid figures or not? Circle is a solid figure.
No.
Is ball a solid figure?
Yes.
Why circle is not solid figure?
Because we can see only two sides.
Because if you cut some paper in the shape of circle, you can see that round shape only in 2 directions. You can't see that round shape in all the directions. But if you take the ball or some planet, if you see these things, you can see that round shape in all the directions. That is one example for 2 dimension and 3 dimension. And one more example for plane figure and solid figure, what I can tell is, suppose a paper, if you cut in the round shape, does it has any space inside it?
No.
So that means there is no volume in there. So that means they are plane figures. Suppose if you take some ball, it is also round in shape, but it is having some air inside it. That means that there is a space. So whichever has some space, that are called solid figures. So whichever does not have the space inside it, they are called as plane figures. So what is the now plane figures means what? Plane figures are not containing any space inside it. That means they are flat surface. Plane figures are nothing but a
Flat surface.
So plane figures are also called as flat
surface.
Okay, because it does not contain any space inside it, so they are called as flat
Flat
surfaces.
surfaces.
Okay, so now different plane figures and different solid figures we have discussed. What we will do with these plane figures and solid figures, we will measure them. Okay, so what is the use? When in our universe, in our surroundings, we will see so many solid figures and so many plane figures. Suppose we want to construct some building, or else you want to construct some building or some factories, like that. Anything you want to construct. So you will make different shapes. Okay. So how you can make that shapes without any measurements? You will make that shapes, or with some measurements you will you will make that shapes. So here means we whatever the solid figures and plane figures we have to measure them. So that that measuring is nothing but, so that is called mensuration. Mensuration means measuring solid figures and plane figures. For example, I want to construct some school. First what I will do, I will buy some land. Okay, so I will see the area of that land. Okay, so first I will see the area of the land. Is this area sufficient to me to construct the building or not? So according to that, so I will plan. Okay, first I will buy the land. So that land, now it is a plane figure. Why? Because it has only a flat surface. Okay, later on in that land I will build some school with different shapes. Okay, so balcony is like with different shape, and classrooms in different shape. So this all whatever we do is called measure with measurements. So we will measure the areas and values. Okay, we will measure the areas and values to construct a school or building. Okay, so that then so here our chapter is nothing but surface. So now we are going to discuss our chapter surface areas and values. Okay, surface areas and values. So our chapter is now to discussion about surface areas and values. That means whatever the solid figures and plane figures we take in this chapter, we will find the areas and values. Suppose if I take cone, I have to find the surface area of the cone and volume of the cone. If I take cube, is cube a solid figure?
Yes.
So if I take the cube, so I have to find the surface area of the cube and surface volume of the cube. So let us write what are the plane figures and what are the solid figures. Then later we will try to discuss about how to find the areas and the volumes. What is considered as area and what is considered as volume. Okay. So here, so is this understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
So let us write some plane figures and solid figures what we have in the geometry. Okay. Can anyone tell some plane figures? Can anyone tell some plane figures? Plane figures means I said no, flat surfaces,
Square,
square,
triangle,
triangle,
rectangle,
rectangle.
hexagon,
You can take circle. Okay. Generally we use circle so much. So circle like that, so on. So many plane figures are there. And in this chapter, mainly we will discuss about solid figures, not about the plane
Plane
figures.
figures.
So different solid figures we will take and we will find their areas and the volumes. So what are the solid figures we have?
cuboid,
Okay.
cuboid, cone,
Cuboid,
cylinder,
cylinder, sphere. Sphere is solid figure or not?
yes, sir.
Sphere, prism,
Pyramid,
prism, pyramid. Prism and pyramid are also solid figures. Okay. So note it down this.